If you search for easy ways to earn money online, you might have come across something called SMS Profit. It's an app that claims to pay you just for receiving text messages on your phone. So the idea definitely sounds simple. You just need to install an app, keep it running, and then you get paid per SMS you receive. But I have been testing ways to make money online since 2016, and I can tell you this one immediately raised some questions for me. So I looked into it properly, and in this video I will show you exactly how it works, what the earnings actually look like, and most importantly, some things about how this app works that I think everyone should know before installing it. So let's start by going over who can join and what SMS Profit actually is. So from what I've been able to see, it is an app you can join from all countries. And if you go to the FAQ section, just come here for example, it doesn't really say that much. It says that you will just receive SMS and then you will get paid. And if you then go to the FAQ section and read a little bit more, then you can see they explain a little bit more about why you can actually earn, because it's always good to think about when you join an earning platform, is it a realistic way to earn? How is it a business model for the platform you're joining? Because if they cannot make money, then you will also not get paid. So they do explain a little bit more about that. The FAQ section explains that a lot of SMS providers and mobile network operators, they supposedly need to send SMS test messages to foreign countries to verify and ensure proper delivery of their SMS routes. And let me just clarify that SMS route testing is a real, well-documented practice in the telecom industry. And there are legitimate platforms like Telq, Testlium, and CM.coms and more, where they do use real consumer phones in multiple countries as test nodes to verify that messages actually deliver. So the explanation they give is definitely technically plausible. The problem is that SMS Profit use this explanation, but personally I have not been able to find any proof. I could not find any named clients, I could not find any audit, I could not find any verifiable connection to actually mobile network operators. If you've been able to find that, if you have looked into it yourself, please feel free to share below. I would love to hear it, but I was not able to, and that's definitely something to keep in mind, but we will get back to more about that a little bit later. Let's now talk a little bit more about how it would work and how you would earn, how much, and all that. So if you decide to do this, it is quite simple. You just need to download the app, and then you would of course need to register and then just keep it running in the background. You just need to make sure that it's actually running. It's only for Android devices, and sometimes an Android device can close down an app that's just running in the background, so you would need to check on this. And how it would then work is that basically you just need to add your phone number. You can add more phone numbers, and you can see some examples on it on the website, and I will explain later why I do not show it on my own phone. So there is a good reason for this, but overall that's just how basic it is. You would install it, you would add your phone numbers, you would start receiving these text messages as long as it is running in the background. And you can of course say, like, why does it have to run in the background? Why can't they just send the text message? You know, that's how they explain it. I'm just telling you what they do. Then I will a little bit later talk about some of my concerns about this. But of course, if you do this, also make sure to check what your phone plan actually allows, because maybe in some countries for some plans it's not free to receive foreign text messages, and then of course it would not be worth it, because then maybe you would end up losing money instead, and that's of course, you know, that doesn't make sense. But you can register as many phone numbers as you want, but if a number is registered on several accounts, then you will both get banned. So keep that in mind. Also, how much will you then earn? Well, you will get in general 2 cents per text messages, and once you have actually received the payment, you can delete the text message. You should not interact with it or anything like that. You just need to keep it, and then you can delete it once you've been paid. But overall, you should not expect to get more than 1 per day. They even say that in the FAQ section, and in general maybe 1 per day. So of course it will take a long time to earn. The payout threshold is only $1.50, but with 2 cents per day, potentially you can still see that will still take several months to earn. And when you reach it, you can then get paid via PayPal or USDT. So the payout options are definitely great options in my opinion. But let's now talk about why I personally do not use this after having looked into it when someone asked about it. And the reason for this is that I personally do not like apps that are only APK. And you can see that here, they say up here, download APK. That means you need to install it manually. You cannot find it through the Google Play Store. And this can be risky. And considering the extremely low pay, it's not worth it anyway, in my opinion. But let's talk a little bit more about the potential risk. I'm not saying that this will for sure happen on SMS Profit. This is a general thing to consider with installing APK, earning earning apps, and particularly apps where you supposedly can earn by receiving text messages. And there are a few important things you need to know. So first of all, the SMS permission risk, in my opinion, is quite serious. The app actually gets receive SMS and read SMS access. So that means that potentially it can read every SMS that arrives on your phone, including bank passwords, two-factor authentication codes, or account recovery codes. SMS Profit claims that it only reads these text messages IDs, but again, it's not something that I've been able to verify. I'm not saying that they will read it or anything. I'm just saying in general, when you allow an app to get access to your text messages, that is a risk. And it is only through APK, so it is not something that have, for example, been checked by the Google Play Store or something like that. So the second thing to consider is that users are encouraged to run multiple SIM cards or add several phone numbers. And in general, I told earlier that this root testing, that is a real practice, but usually legitimate root testing platform, they do not need this, and usually they would encourage against it actually, and they would only be with one phone number. So there definitely are some concerns there why they encourage this. What is it actually used for? So the third thing is the legal exposure for you as a user. Sometimes the carrier, the phone company, there are terms and services that typically prohibits using consumer SIM card for commercial message forwarding, and in some jurisdictions receiving payment from potential fraudulent telecom activity. I'm not saying that here again, I'm talking general. I'm saying that sometimes SMS forwarding like this and things like that is used for fraud, and in general, if you participate in that, in some jurisdictions that is seen as fraud or participating in fraud even if you do not know about it. Again, I'm not saying that this is what this is used for, but just sharing what you need to consider in general before using an earning opportunity like this. So overall, SMS Profit app, I understand it's appealing. Personally, not one that I'll be using. I don't like installing an earning app via APK for the reason I just explained here. And when you then combine that with the very low earnings, it's just not worth it personally for me. If you have another opinion, other experiences, I would love to hear them. Just share in the comments below. I always love hearing from you. Also, if you have any questions, anything, I make sure to reply to every comment. But I do have a list on my website of best passive income apps that I have come across. Again, passive income apps in general, if they're completely free and easy to start with, you will usually not earn a lot, but there are some where you can earn a little bit extra that I prefer instead. I'll leave a link to that below. And in general, if you're just interested in side hustles to make some extra money, I also do have a list with more than 20 legit free side hustles on my website. I will leave a link to that below. And then here on the screen, I will also leave one of the best survey apps, so you can watch that next if you want to see more about great way to earn some extra money from your phone completely for free. So check that out next. And finally, if this video helped you, make sure to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss out next time I release a video with tips and tricks about different ways to make money online.